Hey guys, Lloyd here with you, and welcome to Sounds from the Shed. It is the podcast for the indie artist and also the movers and shakers in the music business and just for music lovers. And man, I've got a treat for you guys today. I have a fantastic artist, Low Spirit, coming to hang out with us. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. I'm just on the other side of the flu, so doing the best I can to sit up straight and talk to you.
Well, it's all good. Just don't fall out on us.
I'll do my best.
It's been a bad one going around this year, so hopefully you're on the uptick of it and getting
Yeah,
rid of it and
it's kind of
getting
crazy.
ready
So
to.
I just spent the past week taking care of my 3-year-old son who had it.
Yeah.
So of course I got it from him, and so he's with his mom this week, and it's like as soon as I have some peace and quiet, I'm like down bad. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh. Um, but yeah, it's like kind of a weird one this year because I feel like the first 3 days I didn't even know I had the flu because it was just so mild, and then out of nowhere I was just like
Hit you
out of
hard.
commission 2 days. Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you taking the time out to hang out with us today. I'm so excited. I've been listening to your music earlier today because I I really love to listen to an artist's music before I dive in or talk to them or really go into the social media part. I know you've got a huge TikTok presence and of course other platforms of social media too. So man, I really want to dive into this music and talk about some of the projects you've got in the works, if you don't mind, for a little bit.
Sure,
So,
absolutely.
so are you still an independent artist? Or are you signed now with a label?
Nope, I'm still an independent artist. So it's still me making all the decisions, making all my content, and
Love it.
throwing my head into a wall every day about it.
That's awesome. The whole reason why I started this podcast a few months back is like, there's not really that many podcasts out there for indies out there to learn from, whether it be something that works for them or mistakes. And we've had
Right.
such success with just with doing this. And of course, a lot of folks, if they're not musicians and artists, they like to just watch it to kind of see behind the curtain and kind of hear about our daily struggles and to hear about what we've got going on. So,
Right.
kind of tell me a little bit about your journey of how it got started and from the point that you've decided, hey, this is what I want to do.
Sure. Yeah. I think a big thing to note for me is that Low Spirit as a whole was kind of a happy accident. Having an
Uh-huh.
artist career was honestly not something that I anticipated over the last like probably like decade of my life. I
Yeah.
spent my younger years like growing up like being in bands, and I was a
Mhm.
drummer for, you know, from the time I was 12 years old until I was about 28.
Mhm.
Uh, so or sorry, I would say 26 rather. And so in about like 2020, I had gotten really sick, and I was producing records for a lot of artists at that time, and I was just songwriting mostly for people. And when I had gotten sick, it was basically it was like an autoimmune condition that was coming to the surface that I wasn't aware that I was living
Mm.
with.
Yeah.
Um, and so I wasn't getting answers from doctors and general practitioners and things like that. And so I was really becoming afraid of my own body. As kind of like crazy as that sounds, it was like I was having these like mild like seizure-like episodes where I was like awake, and I was like aware of what was going on, but I had no control over my
Oh,
motor
wow.
function. Um, so it started to really like scare me into I never left my house anymore. I didn't make plans anymore. I felt like I couldn't rely on myself because I didn't know what was happening to me. Um, and so because of that, I started losing a lot of work. Um, and as I lost a lot of work, I lost a lot of like my income, so I wasn't able to like pay my rent and different things.
Mhm.
So I went through a period in my life of losing everything. My house, my car, my relationship at the time, everything just sort of exploded in my life. And um, the only thing that kind of taught me to sit down and work again was doing these like little short covers.
Yeah.
Um, just kind of what I started my TikTok with. And at
Uh-huh.
the time, I didn't even have a TikTok. I was just making them to kind of like reteach myself how to sit through the anxiety and slowly get back to work for other people.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, and I remember posting a couple of them on my Facebook, and they didn't go viral, but they certainly like did a lot better than any other post I had made before, like three or
Mhm.
400 likes on the post, which was crazy for me at the time. And
Yeah. Incredible.
so I had a lot of friends like suggesting I start a TikTok and all these other things. So I did, and yeah, it really like pulled me back into myself and pulled me into this journey that I'm in now with Low Spirit, and everything is just kind of propelled to where we are now from that point. And it was all kind of because I totally lost everything um,
Mhm.
and got really sick and afraid. That I found, what ended up becoming like my most fruitful life that I could have
Sure.
imagined. So,
That's incredible. Um, was it scary at first, to be that transparent in your music when you started moving over to writing your own? Because from what I've gathered, you started writing to really help you deal with what was going on in your life. I mean, did it really just scare the hell out of you to be that transparent?
it still does, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Um, there's a song that I just started posting clips of, that I had actually written, for this girl that I, was in love with, and the song didn't get me the girl, but I still have to promote it and put it out
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So, um, it's kind of like that over and over. And to be honest, like as an artist or as a musician, you're gonna make songs and you're gonna put songs out there that don't connect.
Sure.
And I think it sometimes it gets hard because it feels like personal rejection when you put that much
Mhm.
of yourself into a song. So to be honest, yeah, that never quite goes away, but I realize that it's good for me though,
Yeah.
because
It's part of the
it
drive and I think the passion of it. So,
yeah, and there's nothing better than like writing about something so personal and important to you, and then going to play a show and seeing how many people
mm,
that exact situation or scenario in your
same
life
thing for them.
connected with.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you
that there
do you
just
feel like
resonates.
the songwriting portion has, of course, helped them through the dark times? What what has it done for you personally, though? I mean, I know it's helped you immensely as far as, like, picking up extra shows that you've played some phenomenal shows, but can you share some of that with us?
So, writing music about my life and my experiences, and honestly, a lot of like my traumas for like from my younger years of life, um, it's kind of become a form of like EMDR for me,
Mhm.
which is a form of trauma therapy. I've been in targeted trauma therapy every week for the past 5 years of my life,
Yeah.
um, because I'm a person with CPTSD. So,
Mhm.
it's kind of about taking all of these like situations in my life that are intimidating or scary, um, all of these experiences that I had that were unpleasant, or some that were just intimidating, like, figuring out how you feel about somebody and deciding to put that in a song and put it out. It's like,
Yeah.
you kind of have to be brave enough to put it into a song that you care so deeply about. And music being a medium that I'm familiar with and not afraid of kind of
Mhm.
disarms the intimidation and like the fear in a way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like this healthy way of like cleaning all of these fears or these memories that sort of mess with you most of your life, and turning them into something that doesn't scare you and something that's easier for you to kind of face and confront. And that's just done a lot of healing for me over the past few years.
Yeah, that's incredible. So your early audience found you through doing the, raw emotional cover videos. What did that season teach you about connecting with people?
I think it taught me this one thing that I still seem to like preach to this day is that
Yeah.
I think everybody's just looking for a little bit of themselves in a song, you know?
Yeah.
Whenever people are like looking for music or like going to find new music, I think everybody's just like looking for a little bit of themselves, and whether that's like lyrically, it kind of describes an experience that they've gone through or who they are as a
Yeah.
person, or even if it's just a feeling, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and that kind of excited me, and I feel like helped me become a better songwriter as well. Just
Mhm.
making that observation in people.
Yeah, I love that. Do you feel like you have a responsibility now to keep the vulnerability because of the people now that are leaning on you, or on your honesty? Do you feel like you have your responsibility to maintain that now?
Honestly, that's a really great question because yes, I do
Yeah.
feel like it's become my responsibility, and I sometimes I selfishly I wish that it wasn't, because it feels like a lot of weight, and I feel
Hmm.
like it feels like a lot of expectations sometimes, and like I'm a human being as well. Like
Sure.
sometimes I don't know exactly what to say or what to create or what to feel. And sometimes I feel like we're supposed to be aligned with what other people need,
Yeah.
in a moment. And that's what drives success. And like the
Mhm.
stars don't always align. So sometimes um, it's it really is hard to feel like that has become your responsibility as an artist because I think sometimes you're like, I just want to have fun and I feel like I'm having to
Yeah.
think about it too much. Um,
Yeah.
so it's kind of a healthy balance of both, you know.
How different does it feel now performing songs that you wrote versus the ones you covered in the earlier years?
I mean, the connection with people is just like so much more potent to me.
Yeah.
It matters so much because it's like what I was doing with other people's music originally was I was kind of stripping back all the production and the big guitars and drums and
Mhm.
kind of just getting to the heart of the song. And they were songs I was connecting with at the time, and whether that was over nostalgia or something I was going through in a moment. It was cool to connect with a lot of people
Yeah.
through that, but at the end of the day, it wasn't my song and it wasn't my art. And so it just feels so much more
Sure.
valuable to me to be able to write out my own experiences in my own life and have that reach people the way that those songs reached me. Um, so yeah,
That's
it's been
awesome
amazing.
because two of your songs really, really just ring out with me. The Mind of Mine and Good Enough. I know that really introduced you to people of who you are. What were you going through when those songs were written? Do you remember that season or that time when you wrote those?
Yeah, I do, honestly. The craziest part is I say this every time, but looking back at Mind of Mine, I like can't believe like how afraid I was at that time.
Yeah.
I had just found out that I was going to be a father, and I
Uh-huh.
was worried about not being like not being qualified, like not being good enough, feeling too broken and um just not put together enough to be a great dad. And um now that, my son Rowan is 3 years old, it's like he's my best friend and it's like completely changed my life in the best
That's
way.
awesome.
Like um so it's like it's almost difficult for me to like look back and listen to that song again because I'm like, man, I just do not feel that way and I feel so silly that I ever was like this afraid.
Yeah.
And writing that song was like more so like, I had gotten sick by that point. I still didn't have
Uh-huh.
answers and it was sort of a personal pleading with God, who I've kind of struggled to believe in over the past like several years. I still
Mhm.
wrestle with my belief system, but it was like, if you're there, I need you to help me put myself together so that I can be a great father to my kid. And
Yeah. Love that,
so I
man.
remember, I remember that's what I was going through with that song. Good Enough is like so easy to remember because that song really was about growing up struggling. I was one kid out of four in a family of six, and my dad was the only one who worked.
Mhm.
And my dad somehow championed us all on like less than $30,000 a year, which is so crazy. So we grew up, you know, struggling pretty hard, and I think once I became an adult and once I found even just like a semblance or a sliver of success, it was almost
Mhm.
I was so terrified of losing the floor out from under my feet because that's all I was used to my entire life that I couldn't be comfortable or feel the security that I had like built for myself and for my life. And I still have difficulties with that to this day where I'm just constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, or for the rug to be pulled. And for this all to be over.
Yeah.
Um, and, so that song is mostly about I have no idea how to like live with security as an adult when it's literally something I've never known as a kid, ever. So
Well, that was going to lead me to my next question. Do you think those tracks, did they change your life in terms of how people related to you?
I think those were the first two tracks where I was very, very. I think those were two of my most vulnerable songs.
Hmm.
So it felt like that was the first time I was really like letting people have a window into who I was and my life.
Yeah.
Um,
It's incredible.
I feel like it was the most honest I had been in terms of just creating music for my artist project
Yeah.
and for my.
Well, let's lean on the lighter side a little bit. When you hit over 1 million monthly streams, of course, I don't even want to ask you, did it feel validating or did it add any pressure to you? So, yeah, I guess so.
Uh,
Did you feel validated and does it throw extra pressure on you hitting that number now?
it does. What's funny is like um, this goes back to the whole thing about good enough.
Yeah.
But anytime in my life that I've had like a win or some sort of like success. I used to be in a band, by the way, when I was like 21, and we signed a deal with Roadrunner Records and got dropped
Yeah.
and shelved before anything ever came out. And
Yeah.
it was the same lesson where it was like, once we had gotten like the record deal, which
Uh-huh.
I don't have one now, but I was so afraid of losing it that I was just making terrible stuff. That I thought I was supposed to make to kind of like keep that all in check. And I think um, hitting over the million monthly mark for me, it was okay. Now everything I do like matters way more. And so every song that I put out there that doesn't connect with people is just feels like an even bigger loss than it
Yeah.
did prior to that, where it felt like I could like put things out trying to find myself. Um, So it's like on one hand it felt really good and it did feel validating, but I am certainly a person who I am my biggest critic and I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm very hard on myself.
Yeah. Let's talk about your tour because you're selling out your first US headline tour. I mean, dude, that's a huge milestone. Did it feel surreal, of course, when you have people singing your lyrics back? I mean, I, every independent artist dreams of having their own tour. And of course, you did it and sold it out, which is incredible.
It was a lot of fun. We honestly like didn't expect anyone to show up at first. Like I honestly didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of nerves before
Yeah.
heading out. Um, And man, it was everything that you would imagine a first tour to be. So it was like amazing and awful all at the same time. I got laryngitis on the tour. Uh, our van broke down. We were stranded in the middle of nowhere. Um, it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun, and seeing people like show up night after night though, and like sing those lyrics back was just something I'll never forget. And I think it was the second
Yeah.
show on the tour in Phoenix, Arizona. Um, yeah, it was sold out, which was awesome. And then I
Yeah.
remember started playing good enough, and like the whole room was just singing so loud. It was just
Uh, I could only imagine, dude, that would be an incredible feeling.
it was
Um,
so much fun.
so with you being an independent artist, of course, we talked about what all your music and your writing and your experiences. Would you mind if we kind of lean towards and maybe just spit a little bit of advice to some of the indie guys out there that's just trying to get going, or they feel like they've been worn out or defeated? What's one piece of advice would you give one guy that's just out there trying to make his break?
Man, I would just say make the music that you want to make, that you're passionate about,
Yeah,
that you believe in, and just start putting it out there into the world. Like I think now is the best and easiest time to do that and to like get
agreed.
in
Yeah,
because of tools like Instagram and TikTok and like YouTube Shorts. Like everything has basically become like this big like pool of entry where it's like anyone can create
it's
something, and
incredible,
if
isn't
it's
it?
great,
Crazy.
it will find its tribe, and it's the world will recognize it. And I think that you just have to believe in yourself. That's it,
Yeah,
and just put yourself out there. There's never been a better time to do it.
I agree totally. As you step into this new year and next chapter with yourself, what do you find that excites you more? Is it the music you've already made, or is it going to be the music that you haven't written yet?
I think it's the music that I have already made that I haven't released yet. um, so it's probably gonna
Well,
be
I didn't
that.
know how far you wanted to go with this.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be that mixed with music that I haven't made yet. I think my favorite part about all of this is just sitting down in a room with my best friends and just making music like from
Yeah.
nothing. There's just no
That's
better
so cool right
feeling.
there. That's what I'm talking about right there. Just being
There's no
with your
better
buds,
feeling.
people you love, and creating.
Exactly. There's no better feeling than like sitting there and writing a chorus and just like tracking it down real quick and hearing it back and being like, yes, that's it. And it's the
Yeah.
best thing in
Yeah.
the world, which is why I did songwriting and production for so long. That's like one of my
Why you
favorite
did it.
parts of the process.
Yeah. So this is we kind of teased it a little bit. So this is going to be your first album and full body of work. Is that right for yourself? Because you've
That's right.
always just done singles.
Yeah. So I think for the first few years, it was like I was really just trying to discover who I was
Yeah.
and what that meant. And to be honest, I'm glad that I didn't rush that because I now know that who I am doesn't have to be defined by a singular lane.
Hmm.
Um, whereas like for the first like couple of years, I was like, am I a rock artist? Am I an alternative artist? Am I
Yeah.
like I was trying to figure out like which way to go. And it's
Hmm.
kind of nice because now I've sort of realized I can do everything and it still fall underneath like who I am and make sense to my audience. So it's kind of been liberating to take my time on creating my first like body of work.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not out yet, but it will be.
It's coming. Do you feel
Yeah,
more at home behind the scenes producing or out front as Low Spirit?
that's a tough question because I feel like it's not a very good look to me as an artist if I say I feel more at home making records, I think. But that's only because I'm like a
Yeah.
shy person. And
Yeah.
I'm a very like timid guy, so I feel more comfortable sitting, at a desk behind a computer with all of my friends, just trying to make something great. Um, whereas like it's less pressurous because it's like if we don't get it right the first time, we can just delete it and write another section.
Redo that.
But
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
on stage, it's just like if you don't get it right, you can't really erase that part. You know what I mean?
And
And get another.
everybody's got a camera phone out now. So
Exactly. So it's just like, damn, I wish I could have been doing this in the early 2000s, like all of my favorite bands, you know?
I think one of the greatest lines I love when I read your bio is uh, you say, you don't write to escape darkness, you write to meet it head on. When did you realize that was going to be your mission as an artist?
Um, I think it's kind of funny. I really just started doing this artist project because my therapist actually sort of dared me to do it. When
Yeah.
she asked me what I did for a living. And at the time I was like, well, I write and produce for other artists and she was so basically you package your story and your traumas and you sell them to other people for a living to go off and create a career with. She was like, that sounds miserable. um, and I was like, well, when you put it like that, yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
miserable, but
Well, you paint that picture, Doc.
right. And she basically just asked me, she was like, well, have you ever thought about making music for yourself? And I was like, well, no,
Yeah.
because I've just been a drummer for years and years, and so it didn't really make much sense to me to go out and do it. But I mean, clearly
Yeah.
she was right. So I sort of started writing down a lot of things that I was confronting in therapy with her, and I just sort of like took him to
Yeah.
the drawing board and would start writing songs kind of through that lens and through a more honest and grounded lens. And so really it was mostly
Hmm.
because I was on a selfish mission to try and fix myself and figure out what was
Sure.
going on with me, and this was my way of like doing that. Um,
Hmm.
so really I spent my whole life sort of running away from my issues. And when they finally caught up to me, in the later half of my 20s, like I had no choice but to start kind of confronting those things and
Yeah.
writing
Do you
music.
think pain is necessary to create meaningful art?
Um, that's tough. Yes and no.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I think yes because like in order for it to really resonate with somebody, you really have to have been there at some point in your
I,
life.
I agree. Yeah.
Um, And even the songs about like beauty and love and all of these other things, you don't have a level of appreciation for the positive things in life without feeling like the pain of the negative thing.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Like,
I love that.
um,
Yep. Yep.
so to me, it's like I feel very much so, but I don't feel like every song has to come from a place of pain, you
Yeah.
know?
I agree
Um,
totally. I totally. It's like this. You can't have an up without a down. You can't have an in without an out. So yeah, you have to have the pain to create it, to appreciate the good stuff. And I love that you said that and brought that to light for sure. If music hadn't become your outlet, where do you think you'd be today, or what would you be doing?
when I was a kid, I really wanted to be a marine biologist.
Oh yeah.
Um, I was like very into aquatic life and marine life, and I was just very into animals, like from a young age. And
Hmm.
yeah, Crocodile Hunter used to be like my favorite show ever when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Um,
Steve Irwin. God bless him.
Straight up, yeah. If it wasn't music, it was definitely going to be some form of zoology or some form of like
Yeah.
working with
That's
animals and
cool,
wildlife.
man. Yeah. All right. Well, so let's do a lightning round. We're going to do a little wrap up, a little fun wrap up. So, writing, 2 a.m. or 2 p.m.?
2 p.m. now that I'm a grandpa.
Studio or stage?
Studio.
Song you wish you'd written?
Oh man.
Because there's a
Oh
lot of good ones. Yeah.
yeah, I know that's so hard for me. Sweater Weather by the Neighborhood.
Oh, that's a good one. Good choice. All right. An artist that changed your life.
Uh, Little band from Southern California called AFI. It's
I'm going
right
to have to
here.
look them up. One word for the new album.
Real.
I love it. Oh man, low spirit, my dear friend. I appreciate you hanging out with me today, buddy.
Thanks for having me, man. I
Tell
appreciate it. It's
everybody how to
fun.
find you.
You can find me on Instagram. My username is lo.spirit, lo.spirit.
Yeah.
Um, I'm pretty sure on TikTok it's got to be the same.
Hmm.
It's sad that I don't know that like off rip for some reason. Oh, no, it's just at low spirit. Um, and you can pretty much find me anywhere, just under low spirit. I'm
Dude,
the
I'm
the
so excited for you because believe it or not, you are still young and you've got so many wonderful years ahead of you.
I
And
appreciate that, man.
man, I'm so excited. I'm going to sit back here and just watch and cheer you on, and excited to see what else is gonna come for you in this year and then the future. So
Thank you, man. I appreciate you for having me.
yeah, brother. Low spirit, ladies and gentlemen. You guys check him out on whatever your streaming platform is. He's there for you. I promise you.
Woo!